Hello everyone and welcome to this very special episode of Draw with Rob. With me, Rob Biddulph. Now, I am a children's author and illustrator. You might have seen some of my picture books, like this one. It's called Odd Dog Out. I think this might be my most popular picture book actually. It's all about a sausage dog, this one in the middle here, who doesn't fit in with all the other sausage dogs. It's a fun one, that one. You might have seen my brand new picture book. This one is called Gigantic. It says there, look, the small whale with a big heart. That's because gigantic here is a blue whale. As we all know, blue whales are the biggest creatures on earth, but gigantic is a very small blue whale. But in the course of this story, and with the help of his friend Myrtle the turtle, he discovers that it doesn't matter how big you are, it's all about the size of your heart. So check that out. Finally, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my chapter books. This is the third book in the Peanut Jones trilogy. It's called Peanut Jones and the End of the Rainbow. And this is my first set of chapter books, and I'm very, very proud of them. They're a little bit different to most chapter books that you find because, look, they are full of illustrations. Of course they are. I did it, and I like drawing, right? So I've put lots and lots and lots of illustrations in here. The chapters are nice and short. So do you know what? I think this is a very good one. If it's like maybe your first or your second chapter book that you've ever read, this is a very, very good one for you. Right, introductions over with. I think it's time we got on with today's very special episode. And there's a couple of reasons why this is a very special episode. The first is that it's for Halloween. That was pretty spooky, wasn't it? Now, we have done a few Halloween videos in the past, but none quite like this one. I am working with my friends at Hubbub, which is an environmental charity. And for the first time ever in my Draw with Rob video series, we are not going to be drawing on a piece of paper, people. That's right, we're going to be drawing on something else. Do you want to know what we're going to be drawing on? Well, I'm going to put that there. We're not drawing on a little bowl, but what we are drawing on is... It's a Halloween special, can you guess? That's right. We are drawing straight onto a pumpkin. That's cool, isn't it? Amazing! You're probably wondering why this is. Well, I will tell you. Think about it. Every single year, millions and millions of pumpkins like this one are carved, but they're not eaten, are they, at Halloween? And do you know what? I think it's quite easy to forget that pumpkins are actually a food. And if there's one thing I hate, it's wastage, particularly at the moment. We're in a cost of living crisis. We don't want any wastage, do we? So we thought that by drawing on the pumpkin rather than carving it, A, your pumpkin will stay fresher for longer, and B, afterwards, after you finish displaying it, you can turn it into something delicious to eat. Because pumpkin, as a food, is actually really, really good for you. And it can be used in loads of things. It can be used in stews, in soups, in pies, and also, you might not even have known this, but it can be used in lots and lots of sweet things like delicious pumpkin cake and muffins and pumpkin pie and that sort of thing. So, this can serve two purposes. It can be a brilliant Halloween decoration and also a delicious meal. Now, I'm going to show you 3 different designs to draw on pumpkins. Draw on your pumpkins. But first of all, I'm going to tell you about the type of pumpkin that I'm using. Now, this pumpkin is smaller than the ones you might usually carve at Halloween. Now, it's not just because we want it to fit on my screen and underneath my camera here so that you guys can see it. It's actually because pumpkins, the smaller the pumpkin you use, the sweeter they are, the nicer they are to eat. And also, there is less waste if you use a small pumpkin, right? Because you can use all of the flesh and that kind of thing to make your delicious food. The other thing to tell you about is we're not going to be using my usual pens to draw on this pumpkin. This is very, very important. You know, my usual brush pens. We're not going to use them. We're going to use special pens that have edible ink, okay? Now, I don't know if you've heard of those, but they're very, very easy to find online. I'm going to show you a few here. This is an edible ink pen here. Whoop. It's a food pen. Sometimes they're called food pens, and that means the ink is actually made from stuff that you can eat. So once we've drawn on our pumpkin, it'll be totally safe to cook and to eat. But you can get lots of different types. You can get all different colours. Look, here's some here. Edible ink markers, food colouring pens. I'm just going to use black in this video, but yes, you can find them online, and they're not very expensive, so you can get them quite easily. But it's very important that you guys use edible ink, and also afterwards, these pens, you can use them to decorate. I keep holding them upside down. I think it's because I'm left-handed. I always point them that way, but as I said, they're food pens, so you can use them to decorate cakes and biscuits, that kind of thing afterwards. So be a worthwhile investment, I think. So we're going to draw 3 pumpkin designs for you. This is so exciting for me. I can't believe I'm drawing on something other than paper. So shall we make a start on our first design? Now, I thought first of all we should go classic, right? I should just draw a pretty straightforward pumpkin face. So we are going to start where should we start? I tell you what, it's cool. I've got to look from above at this one. We're going to start right in the middle of our pumpkin, okay? Right in the centre. I'm going to move mine round so this sort of, they've got these strips, haven't they, pumpkins, like that. I'm going to get my strip sort of in the middle, like that. Is that straight? That's pretty straight. Right in the middle of our pumpkin, I want you to start by drawing 2 tiny little dots, like that, with your edible ink pen. Oh, this is so fun. Can you guess which bit of our pumpkin scary face that's going to be? That's right, that's going to be the nose. So then what I want you to do next, we're going to draw 2 great big pumpkin face eyes. And these are easy because they're just going to be big sort of oval shapes like this. They're going to come round like that. So we're sort of starting level with the 2 dots we drew first of all. The ink's going on, is so beautiful and shiny. Isn't this nice? There we go. Number 1 eye, and then on the other side, we're going to do the second one. Finish colouring it in like that. Now, I should have said right at the beginning, you guys, you've watched loads of Draw with Rob episodes before, but the important thing I think with Draw with Rob is, don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, okay? The idea is, with all of these designs, all of these drawings that I do with you guys, you put a bit of yourself, you put a bit of your own character into the drawings, right? Okay, so yours is not meant to look exactly like mine. So don't worry. I mean, I usually say don't screw up your piece of paper and throw it away if you make any mistakes, just keep on drawing. It's a bit difficult to screw up a pumpkin, but you certainly could throw it away, and we definitely don't want you to do that because this whole video is about how we don't want to waste anything, right? So just keep on drawing. Even if you make a mistake, keep on drawing. Okay, so there we go. Pumpkin eyes and nose. This is a nice easy one to start with. It's good to get used to how the ink goes onto your pumpkin to start with anyway. So we're doing a nice easy drawing to start with. And we're going to add a lovely big pumpkin mouth now. So we're going to start up here, like that. We're going to come all the way down. I think we're going to make this mouth go right down here towards the bottom of our pumpkin. Make it nice and characterful. We're going to go right along the bottom. And then we're just going to finish by coming up the side here. And finishing up next to that eye up there. So a great big smiley pumpkin-y mouth, and it looks pretty good, it looks pretty spooky. But do you know what, whenever you're doing a pumpkin face like this, I think there's one other little bit you need to add to the mouth to make it really look like one of those classic kind of pumpkin faces, and that is you have to add lots of little lines going across the mouth like that. I guess they're sort of meant to represent sort of jack-o'-lantern style teeth, I guess. So we're going to come all the way down, being very careful not to smudge it, because I think this edible ink on my pumpkin here might need a bit longer to dry. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn my pumpkin round like that so I don't smudge it, just to finish the teeth off here. You can see it's very shiny, this ink, and I think it'll take a little bit longer to dry than it might do on a piece of regular paper. There we go. There is our first design. Super easy, right? Really, really simple pumpkin design. But can you see how cute that looks? I love these little pumpkins. They're just, so you can just buy them in any supermarket. They're called cooking pumpkins. But you can get all different types. Now I'm going to show you some others here. You can get these ones, right? These ones here. Look at that. It's a bit spotty, this one. But this is a tiny, tiny one. Look, it's much smaller. And it's called, this has got a very cute name. It's called a munchkin pumpkin. Which I think is really cool. If you think that's cool, wait till you see this. Hang on, let's get this one. It's another little one. But look, it's a white pumpkin. I love these. And these guys, do you know what these are called? They're called baby ghost munchkin pumpkins. Isn't that the best name? A ghost munchkin pumpkin. So what you can do, because they're a bit smaller, you could do little designs. That's why I'm going to show you 3 designs, so you have lots of options. But you could do designs on a few different pumpkins and make a little pumpkin arrangement outside the front of your house, like a little collection, a little pumpkin family with all different designs and all different colours. And you can even also draw on butternut squash like this, because squash is part of the same family as pumpkins, so you can have a really interesting kind of collection of objects. And this is a bit of a different shape, isn't it? So you could do a nice big long faced pumpkin there on a bit of squash. So there's lots and lots of things you could do. But that is our first pumpkin design, right? Easiest one, nice and simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that one to one side over here, and I'm going to get my second pumpkin. Here we go, another little pumpkin here, one of these little mini pumpkins. I'm going to put it in my pumpkin holding device there, like that, and we're ready to go with design number 2. So lots of people, I always say this, don't I, but lots of people do tell me that they don't think they're very good at drawing, and I say, well, everybody can draw. That's the whole point of Draw with Rob. We break these drawings down into bite-sized pieces, right? I mean, pardon the pun, I know we're drawing on a pumpkin, but my drawings are broken down into bite-sized pieces. So that means I draw a little shape here, usually on a piece of paper, but today on a pumpkin. I draw a shape here, then you can pause the video and you can copy the shape I do. You start me up again, I will draw a little bit more. Pause me, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw. And by the end, we will end up with something that we're really super proud of, okay? And so you sort of do your drawing in stages, step by step, and it makes it much, much easier to do, because sometimes you might look at the picture that I've drawn, the final picture, and you think, well, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do that. But of course you can if you take it step by step, which is the whole point of Draw with Rob. So let's start our second design. Let's make this one a surprise, shall we? I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. See if you can work it out. You probably will work it out quite quickly, because I'm going to start with a very simple shape. Now, so here's our pumpkin, right? That's the center of our pumpkin. I want you to go down a bit and to the right. And we're going to start by just drawing a small straight line across your pumpkin, like that. Then we're going to turn upwards in a bit of a curve and just head upwards a couple of centimeters, like so. Next, we're going to go down diagonally about a centimetre again. Then we're going to go straight across like that. It's so strange drawing on a curved surface like this. It's really fun though, I'm really enjoying this. Then what we need to do, we're going to head uphill about a centimetre or so. I've noticed, can you see on some parts of my pumpkin the ink doesn't take quite as well as on other parts. I guess that's because there's different levels of moisture in the surface of the pumpkin skin. So you just have to kind of do your best and work with it as best you can. Then we're going to come down and we're going to turn around and curve back in. So we've made a shape like this. Can you guess what it is we're drawing? That's right, we are drawing a spooky black cat on our pumpkin. This is our cat's head. So what we need to do, we need to add some eyes. So I'm just using black, okay, on mine, because I think when you see a pumpkin from a distance, you need something that contrasts nicely with the orange in order to see it nice and clearly. So I'm just going to use black, but as I said, I showed you these earlier, didn't I? You can get all sorts of different colours, and if you're using one of these ghost pumpkins, you can do multicoloured designs on yours if you want, but I'm just going to stick to black on these ones just to give you a little guide of the sort of thing you can do. Right, the next thing I want you to do, right in the middle of this cat's head, we're going to draw like an upside down triangle. Like that. Right in the middle. That's going to be our cat's nose. And then either side of that, we're going to draw two kind of like a sort of semicircle bit there and a semicircle bit on top to make a nice big eye shape. Okay, we're going to do the same on this side. So we go a curve like that, and then we do a curve like that. We make two eye shapes. And then in this bit in the middle of each eye, we'll draw the pupil. Again, the same shape but a vertical version, and this time we're going to colour it in. And as you can see, we've made a little pupil. Like so. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to colour in the shape around the eyes and the nose. Like so. There we go. In fact, I'll just go into speed mode very quickly. There we go, so I'm going to be dipping in and out a little bit with super speed mode. It's catching my light there a bit, isn't it? But you can see the shape of my little cat's head. Right, let's add some little whiskers coming out the side. 1, 2, 3. And we'll turn this around so I don't smudge. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, like that. A bit wet there. There we go. Little cat's face. I like it already. Right, this cat is going to be kind of arching its back, kind of screeching in a slightly spooky Halloween pose. So, this is how we're going to do that. From the top of our cat's head, just to the right of our cat's left ear, or the left ear as we look at it, we're going to do a curve. We're going to go up and around the ear, like that. We're going to come down, past the whiskers, past the head, and we're going to head down towards the bottom of our pumpkin, like that. Looks funny, doesn't it? Looks like there's a strange line coming out of our cat's head, which, frankly, there is. Then we're going to head to the right, 1/2 centimetre. Then we're going to do a little curve down. Then we're going to head horizontally across the bottom of the pumpkin. Then we're going to start heading back up, quite close to that other line that we did. Then when we get just about level with the bottom of our little cat's face, there, I'm just going to fill in these gaps. You keep spotting little gaps here. We are going to curve around like that, and we're going to head back down like so. Then we're going to do exactly the same as we did here. So we're going to go out, down, and along like that, and that's going to be the back legs of our cat. So I'll just colour that bit in for now, and I'll colour the rest in a second, I think, and maybe in super speed mode. You don't need to watch me colouring everything in. Then we're going to head back up like this, and we're going to follow our curve around, all the way around, like that. And we're going to join back up with the top of our cat's head. Yeah, this area of my pumpkin, can you see? Let's just go around like this. Can you see there? It doesn't, the ink takes a bit more work to kind of take to the pumpkin, so there must be a bit more moisture in that area of the pumpkin. But if you see what I'm doing here, I just keep working at it, keep drawing, and eventually the ink covers that particular area, you see. And it's quite wet, so you might have to leave these to dry for a little while, but it will work, I promise you. Okay, now I'm going to colour this shape in, so I'll go into super speed mode to do that, so I'll see you back here in about 2 seconds. Here we go. Okay, so I've coloured in most of our cat's body. Now I'm going to add a bit more detail. I'm just going to turn mine around here. I'm very worried about smudging it. So what I want to do is I'm going to make the fur a little bit more sort of furry by adding lots of these lines that kind of follow the curve of our spooky cat's back around like this, just to make it look like the hackles of the cat are standing up a little bit. I think this might be a witch's cat, you know. There we go. So we're just adding, if I do that you can see it a bit better. It does keep catching the light. There we go. Can you see what I mean? Kind of curving around like that. Let's give our cat some front feet as well, because it looks a bit strange at the moment. So we're going to draw basically these 2 feet like we've done here. We're going to do them again here, just coming out the bottom of our cat's head. And this will really make it look like he or she is arching their back. So we're going to do one there. I'll turn it around and do the other one this way, right next to it. 2 lines coming out like that, and then a little foot, like so. And there we go. You can really now see that our cat is arching his or her back. And then what we're going to do next, we're going to give our cat a nice tail. So the tail's going to come out of here, right? We're going to curve up. We're going to use a lot of our pumpkin space here. We're going to curve up and we're going to go round like that. Now I'm sort of doing this as I go. I'm making it sort of a thicker line as I go, so it's like a tail thickness as I draw, as opposed to doing an outline and then colouring it in. It's just a bit easier doing it like this. We're going to go all the way, so it's just that strip, isn't it? So interesting. This strip here, you can see right there where my ink hasn't quite taken as it has there. It's funny, isn't it? But it's fine. As I say, just go over it a few times and eventually it covers the pumpkin skin. We're going to go round there, and then here we're going to start just curling around in a little, one of my famous little spirals. You know how much I love doing those little spirals. And that's going to be our little witch's cat tail. So we'll come round, bending in on ourselves, like that, working the ink into the pumpkin skin. There we go, our witch's cat design, like so. So that's something a little bit different, isn't it? So you can see what I mean. When you put them together, you get all these very cool, different designs. Shall we, on this one, you can also do, of course, because when you're carving, it's quite difficult to do detail. Like it would be very difficult to do the little whisker designs, I think. And so the good thing about doing this is you can do much more kind of complicated designs. So at the top of my pumpkin here, I can write happy in my neatest handwriting. Happy. Make sure I spell happy right. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Yeah, there we go. Go into that little strip of pumpkin skin. It doesn't take, and you can see with my Y, I have to work a bit harder. There you go. I wonder how it worked when I turned it upside down. Funny, isn't it? But it's all good fun. It's a learning experience. So I'm going to write happy up there, and then down here I'm going to write Halloween. Hang on, how many letters are there in Halloween? H-A. It's always good when you're doing writing like this. It's always good, I think, if you want it to be centered like I do in my on my pumpkin. It's good to work out what the middle letter is, and it's quite easy here in the word Halloween. You can see it's the O. So there's 4 letters on that side and 4 letters on that side. So the O is right in the center, all right, of Halloween. So I'm going to draw the O first. I'm going to write Halloween in a slightly different order than you normally might. So I'm going to do an O here, sort of in the middle of my cat illustration. Then we're going to go this way first. So I'm going to write O-ween. So do the W there. I'm doing it in a slightly spooky font using my brush. So it's a bit sort of spooky. So we're going to write O-ween. This is funny, isn't it? Doing it like this. I'll do an exclamation mark too, why not? O-ween, and now I'm going to write how. Here. So do the L. We do the other L. We do an A. Like that, and then we do our H, like so. And we've got our happy Halloween nice and sort of centered. Can you see what I mean? See how it works? See? There we go. Can you see that? Everything's in screen. And there we go. We've got a lovely little witch's cat pumpkin design. As I said, you can then go back over it, and in those patches where it doesn't necessarily take quite as well as it does in other areas, you can just touch it up as you go. So there we go. Another little pumpkin design for you. A witch's cat. So we've got a face. We've got a witch's cat. We should draw one more design, I think, to help with your lovely little display. So let's put that over there. This is so fun. And I'm going to get another pumpkin. Oh, just dropped a butternut squash then. I've got another pumpkin. This is the biggest one of the ones I've got, but it's still quite small. You can see it compared to my hands. It's not like one of those huge pumpkins that you carve. I mean, you can draw on a huge pumpkin by all means. That'd be absolutely fine, but they're just not quite as nice to eat as these guys. And also the bits of the pumpkin that you can't eat, because there's some parts of the pumpkin that you can't eat, like the stalk and all that kind of stuff. They can still be composted in your compost bin or popped into your food waste bin. So we really aren't wasting anything at all, which is brilliant, right? We want to not waste stuff, don't we? And I know some of you are going to be saying, well, we really like carving pumpkins, and yes, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But sometimes we have to just put a bit more effort into not wasting stuff, right? And you can always, and I know it's nice to put a candle inside your pumpkin when you carve it, but do you know what you can do? You can shine a torch maybe on these, or use some fairy lights around your pumpkin, just to give it a really cool kind of ghoulish glow on your doorstep. So there's things you can do to make your pumpkin display look amazing, and you're still not wasting anything. Right, let's do one final design, and I think for this one we need to go super spooky. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to draw a very creepy ghost on our pumpkin. I should really be doing it on one of my munchkin ghost pumpkins, shouldn't I? But I'm going to do it on an orange one, because I've got a big orange one. So let's see. I wonder which areas of this one are going to be the sort of the slightly more moist areas. We will soon find out, won't we? Right, we're going to do a ghost, and it's going to be a nice wiggly sort of ghost shape. So we are going to start, I think with this one, we're going to start up towards the sort of top left side of our pumpkin. And I'm going to start with a nice simple curve shape like that. Well, this is going on nicely so far. I don't want to speak too soon, but the ink's going on very, very nicely. So we're going to do like a curve shape like that. You'll find, because the pumpkin skin is a bit bumpy and you're drawing on a curve, you might find that you do things like that, like I've done there, a little line that kind of comes off. But because we are drawing quite simple shapes that we are shading in with our pen, you can easily correct that later, so don't worry too much at all. Okay, next we are going to carry on. Let's carry on this line. Yeah, we'll carry on this line. We're going to come down and we're going to turn around. Nice curves, smooth curves. We're going to turn around and start heading into the middle of our pumpkin shape, like that. So it's sort of like a C, like that, or the first part of a G for ghost. But this is where it changes, because we are now going to double back on ourselves. We're going to curve around. All of these movements we make are going to be nice smooth curves, because we're drawing a wiggly ghost. And we're going to go round again, back towards the right, okay? Remember, nice smooth curves, like that. So a wiggly line. I'm going to turn mine a bit here so I don't smudge. Then we're going to carry on going along, like that. And then let's turn around again. Turn around here, like that. So, it's like a river, isn't it? Or a stream. Then you can do this any way you like. You can copy what I do exactly, or you can make up your own ghost. This is going to be like the long ghost tail. You'll see what I mean when I finish. Let's go up there. Let's put a little bump in it there, just to make it a bit more interesting. A little bump like that. And then I think we'll finish the tail off around here in a nice curve, like so. So now what we have to do, we're going to go back to the right hand side. I'm going to turn mine this way up now, and I'm going to start to follow this curve back. So we're going to curve around to the left here, and then you're going to curve in there. If you want to, sometimes it's easier to kind of look at it the right way up sometimes, and then turn it around if you need to, get your hand in the right place so you don't smudge. So I'm going to keep turning mine, but I'm following it around, and can you see it's getting slightly sort of thinner as I get towards the end of our ghost tail. So So there we go, it's nice and thin following this bit around. Like that. And then by the time we get to the end of our little ghostly tail, it's just going to join up like that. So it's lovely and thin, sort of disappears away to nothing, like a sort of wispy ghost, like that. Okay, now I'm going to do this before I forget, but I'm going to add the eye shapes now. So just here, we add two kind of baked bean shapes, like that, right next to each other, like that. And underneath that, let's do a bit of a, this isn't a nasty ghost, this is a happy ghost. So we're going to do like a kidney bean shape underneath those for a nice smiley mouth. Okay, and now we can colour that whole thing in around the eyes and the mouth. I'll go into super speed mode so you don't have to watch me, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so there's my ghost. I'll move it around so you can see. That's the main part of my ghost. But of course, to make it really, really ghostly, we need to give it some ghostly arms. So what we're going to do, level with the eyes, we're going to draw a little line that just comes out and curves up a little bit, like that. And we're going to do, no, let's just finish this one first because I'm worried about smudging. And then that's going to turn around like so, almost at 90 degrees, but again in a nice smooth curve. And then at the bottom, we're just going to draw like sort of wavy shape, like that. Okay. Then when I colour that in, that's going to be like our ghost's spooky arm. Ghosts are very, very easy things to draw. These simple ghostly shapes. There we go, a little spooky ghostly arm. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side, like a mirror image. So we're going to come up, we're going to go down, we're going to do our little waves, 1, 2, 3, and then just colour that in. It's a very simple spooky ghost shape. I think with these, personally, it's quite good to do very simple shapes. I mean, feel free to do whatever you like, but I think quite simple silhouetted shapes like this are the way to go, because they're going to be the things, sort of the more simpler and the more bold, the better in lots of ways, because then people will be able to see them if you put them out on your doorstep from further away. So there we go. I have to move this around a bit so you can see, because of my lighting and the shininess of the edible ink on our pumpkin skin. Okay, now I've not quite finished this because I want our ghost to be saying something. Our ghost is going to be saying boo. So what we're going to do, we're going to do it in sort of bubble writing. So what I want you to do, we're going to do a B. Do it about this sort of size. And what you do a shape like a B, but you don't touch, you don't join it up in the middle. And that's because we are going to do it like bubble writing. So we're going to add a little shape like that we colour in. And that's our B. Then we're going to do an O. So the same height, but we're going to do the middle bit kind of coloured in like that, with an O. I'm going to turn it around so I can see it a bit better and you can see it a bit better. There we go, a B and an O. And then, sorry, I'm doing this upside down, but we do another O to make the word boo. Because that's what ghosts say, right? They make you jump with a boo. And because they're shouting, we can do an exclamation mark. Now, this is upside down, I grant you, but I am doing that so I don't smudge. So the exclamation mark shape is like that. It's a circle with a rectangle on top of it. And then this is the cool bit, because what we're going to do around that, we're going to draw a kind of egg shape that goes all the way around it, quite close to the letters, like so. Yeah. Then we're going to colour in around the letters. And what that will do, it will make, it's sort of like a reverse voice bubble. Usually the voice bubble has got black writing on a white voice bubble, but we have done white writing on a black voice bubble. You see? And I just think it's really in keeping with the rest of our ghostly design. Yeah. Can you see that? Boom! And then, because it's a voice bubble, we just need to add the tail of the voice balloon, like that. And look, our little ghost is saying, boo! What do you think? I think that's very cute and a very kind of creative design for our pumpkin. So let's have a look at all three together. I don't know if they'll all fit together, but can you see, look, the ink has dried nicely on that very first one we did. So he's going to go there. And I'm going to get the cat. And the cat just about fits into the screen. Just about. They're a bit too big for my screen, aren't they? But there you go. There, my friends, are our three pumpkin designs. What do you think? It's fun. Do you know what? Carving pumpkins can be fun. I grant you that. They are fun. But drawing on pumpkins, first time I've ever done it, I'm not going to lie, it's really super fun. And as I said, you can get a whole collection of these pumpkins. Look, I've got loads of them. You can get a whole collection of pumpkins. You can draw on them all. As I said, maybe even a little butternut squash as well. And you can have a little collection of pumpkins on your doorstep to greet any trick-or-treaters that come to your house. What do you think? I think it's been a super fun episode. Now, I want to see your lovely pumpkin designs, so will you do me a favour? Will you take a picture of your pumpkins and will you post it with the Draw with Rob hashtag, but also with this other hashtag too, Eat Your Pumpkin. That way I will get to see your lovely designs, and so will my friends at Hubbub. And you can, if you are watching on Facebook, you can just comment in the comment section below with a photo of your pumpkins. And yes, amazing, fabulous. I can't wait to see this. It's a different episode, right? Were you expecting this? Were you expecting me to be drawing on anything other than paper? Nor was I. But it's super fun. Maybe this will start a trend. Maybe we'll start drawing on all sorts of things like footballs or other vegetables, maybe cucumbers, maybe some fruit. I'll draw on an apple. Who knows? But I really, really hope you've enjoyed watching me draw it on these pumpkins. I hope you do it as well. Remember, we are trying to save on wastage, food wastage. Remember, after you've displayed your pumpkins, you can then cook them. This is edible ink, so it's perfectly safe. And you can make your lovely pumpkin cakes or your muffins or your stews or your soups. If you visit hubbub.org.uk, you will find lots of tips, ideas, recipes, that sort of thing. So there's loads of information there that can help you get the most out of your fabulous pumpkins. I really, really, really hope you've enjoyed drawing along with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click on the subscription button there and turn your notifications on. That way you'll get to know when a new Draw with Rob video comes out. Also subscribe to my newsletter. That way you get told not only when there's a new video out, but when I have a new book out or when I'm touring. You can come and meet me live and maybe even bring your pumpkins to show me live. I'd love to see that. If you haven't eaten them, you've probably eaten them, so that won't work, will it? And other than that, if you stick around to the end of the video, you can have a look inside my Draw with Rob Halloween book and get a little taster of what's going on in there, because do you know what? There'll be lots of things, lots of ideas of things for you to draw on your pumpkins in that book, so that might help you. Thank you so much for watching me today. I'm gonna be back very soon with another episode of Draw with Rob. In the meantime, keep those pencils sharpened and happy Halloween. Hello everyone, it's Rob here, popping up again at the end of your video, just in case you hadn't had enough of my voice. But the reason I'm here is because I wanted to tell you about my brand new Draw with Rob activity book. And this time the theme is Halloween. Pretty spooky, huh? And here it is. Here's the book in lovely fluorescent orange, and I'm very proud of it. It's absolutely jam-packed full of fun, yet spooky activities for you to enjoy in the lead up to Halloween. What's in there, I hear you ask? Well, we've got lots of puzzle pages. Like this one here, we've got word searches. There are plenty of mazes, that sort of thing for you to enjoy. Loads of pages where I've started the drawing off and I need you guys to finish those drawings off. You can add the pumpkin faces to these pumpkins and you could colour these lovely ghosts in here. There are some face painting templates so that you can do your proper spooky face painting before you go out trick or treating. We've got a whole set of top trumps in here, spooky top trumps that you can cut out, shuffle up, deal out to your friends and play a game of spooky top trumps on the big evening itself. And of course, it wouldn't be a Draw with Rob book without plenty of draw-alongs. And as per usual, the pages are perforated. So once you've done your picture in those frames, you can tear the page out nice and easily and stick it up in your window. So all the trick-or-treaters that come to your house can see your beautiful artwork. So there you have it. The 6th Draw with Rob activity book, Draw with Rob at Halloween. And it's out now, available to order from wherever you get your books from. And I really hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to share any pictures you draw from the book with me using that Draw with Rob hashtag. In the meantime, I'm going to see you again very soon. Take care and watch out
for ghosts.
See you soon. Bye-bye.